Hello, my name is Andrea and I'm going to talk to you about my experience with SCAD, spontaneous coronary artery dissection. In January 2016, I was taking my boys to school in the morning, and then we were a little bit late, so I had to run from the car to the school, which was just about 2 minutes, not more than that. And in this short run, I felt a very strong pain in my chest, in the middle of my chest, about here. And it was also hurting a lot on my upper back, so it felt like I was being squashed from both sides. And I also felt that my throat was really dry, and every time I tried to breathe I could feel this very sharp pain in my throat. I was also shaking a lot, and I started to sweat, like a cold sweat. It was a cold day, and from my armpit down to my hand I could feel like a warm sensation, almost like an electric shock coming from my armpit on my both hands. And then when this happened, I was a bit scared, so I just went back home and I contacted the NHS Direct to ask for some advice on what I should do. The lady on the phone, she asked a lot of questions before I could actually explain what I was feeling, but finally when I explained to her, she just told me that it didn't seem to be an emergency, but I could hardly breathe, I could hardly speak. But she said I should contact the GP and see if I could be seen on that same day. And then I contacted the GP's office, but I had no luck, so they were busy, fully booked, and the lady on the phone just told me to go to a walk-in center and explain what I was feeling there. So I did that straight away. I drove to the nearest walk-in center. So when I got in there, I had to find a parking. I was feeling so bad, but I managed to do all that, and I explained to the receptionist what I was feeling. Again, she didn't seem to be worried at all. She just told me to sit next door, and I asked, if I could be seen quickly. She said yes, it's not going to take too long. And there I was waiting for nearly 1 hour. It was at least 40 minutes. So when the doctor came, called me, I went in there. So she had the protocol checks. She checked blood pressure, temperature, and she put the thing to hear my heart, and she said that everything was fine, and she discharged me saying that I was having a panic attack and anxiety. My symptoms were due to these two things. I found a little bit strange because I never had a panic attack, so she asked about stress levels, and to be fair, I was quite stressed because it was just January. We have just gone through Christmas, New Year's, and going back to work. I had so much to do, and on top of that I lost my best friend of nearly 30 years, so my stress levels were quite high. And I just went on with what she said, because she's a doctor, she should know. And then from there I went to work. It was a busy day at work. I was struggling with pain and discomfort and shortness of breath throughout the whole day. It was a horrible day for me that day. And then in the night I felt the same way, and I couldn't get much sleep because it was hurting quite badly. The pain came like in almost waves, so it was really hard to cope with, and then it was a bit easier, and then it came back again. So it was like coming and going. And I just thought, because I probably was having a panic attack, I should calm down, and I tried my best, but it didn't quite help me much. Anyway, the next morning I woke up exhausted, and but I still had to get the boys to school, and before we even stepped out of the door I felt the same combo of symptoms as I had the previous day, but it was stronger. So the pain was unbearable, and the shortness of breath was stronger, and I had on top of that a sensation on my lower jaw, so I felt it was like it was cramping, when you get the cramp on your legs, or it was the same, but it was on my jaw, so it was terrifying. But still I drove the boys to school, And from there I went straight to the medical center. I just explained to the receptionist what I was feeling and if somebody could have a quick look at me. And she said, no, nobody can see you because we are fully booked. But if you want to come back at 5:10, we can have a GP to talk to you. I didn't have any other choice, so I just said yes to that. It was about 9 o'clock in the morning. So after that I went to work again, struggled the whole day. It was even worse than the previous day. But at the end of the day, I went back in there and I saw this GP. So she again ran all the checks, you know, the protocol checks, temperature, blood pressure, and everything was fine. So before she even finished the sentence panic attack, I just broke down in tears. So I started to cry because it was too much for me, 2 full days of pain, and I could feel that something was wrong. But I didn't quite get on with this panic attack because I never had it before. I needed some treatment for that. So then she thought it was a good idea to write a letter and I should take it to the emergency hospital, which I did. So I got there to the emergency hospital, to the receptionist. They explained everything. I gave the letter, but again it took a long time for them to actually do something with me. They did the normal checks, everything was normal, so I just was placed as a non-priority. So I had some blood test, and then while we were waiting for the results, I went to do some other checks like x-ray, and the lady who was in charge of looking after me at this hospital, she just told me that I was fine, but just in case they're gonna check my blood because my GP asked. So when the results came back, it was a big rush around me because my troponin levels was 40,666. According to the people from the hospital, this was the highest ever recorded in this hospital. I actually had 2 heart attacks. And the troponin is an enzyme that is released in the bloodstream when heart cells like from dead heart cells. That's what it is, the troponin. So unless if you had a heart attack, you won't have the troponins elevated, especially not as much as I had. So then after that they took me to an emergency room. They gave me an injection. I don't know what that was, but it made me feel relieved instantly. And it was good because after 2 full days of pain and discomfort, I could finally breathe properly. So I stayed 5 days in this hospital, and they run a lot of tests. In the angiogram, which is like a wire they put on your groin and go all the way to the heart with the camera in it, so they can see where the damage happened. So the angiogram has detected SCAD. One of my arteries had teared, and with this tear you get a blockage. And then this area where it hasn't been supplied with oxygen and blood died. So part of my heart was dead, unfortunately. And the longer you take to get proper care, more of your heart's gonna die. So it's so important that they get your troponins checked straight away. I think when people come with chest pain, that should be the first reaction. But unfortunately it's not this way, so your heart can die and the situation gets worse the longer you wait. Yes. So then after that, after 5 days I was discharged from the hospital. Nobody actually told me at that point. I didn't know I had heart attacks, and I didn't know how severe or how, I didn't know anything. I just thought something was with the heart, but didn't know anything about it. On the day of discharge, they just gave me a leaflet saying life after heart attack. And that was when I found out that I actually had a heart attack. And then my follow-up appointment was 6 months later. I'm still waiting to see a doctor. I haven't been anymore because that's the way it is. But when I went back home, I went on Google and I found a lot of information about SCAD, and I realized that this is a rare disease and it's very uncommon, that doctors, they don't know about it, nurses don't know about it. Some do, but most, at least where I have been, they didn't know about it. And there was a group, a Facebook group in the UK where I live, and when I looked last time, it was like 143 people, members, like survivors of SCAD, and they talk about symptoms, treatment, and what they have been through. And this was a relief to be part of this group. Through this group, I also found out that they were having a research in Leicester. So I subscribed and I was accepted. So I've been to Leicester, and they run this very comprehensive checkup, from blood test to MRI scan, and the people there are amazing. So different. What some information can do to a patient is amazing. So I went in there thinking very low about my future, thinking that my heart was like with a big damage, but in fact Dr. Abe, she was amazing. She showed me the before and after pictures of my heart, and she showed me exactly where the damage was small damage. Some of the damage has healed, which was in my artery. The tear of my artery has been healed. The dead muscle in my heart will never recover, because that's the way the body works, it never recovers. But at least I was happy to know what happened and where the damage was. So Dr. Abe, she was confident enough to take me off the medicine, so I'm not having any more beta blockers, blood thinners, aspirin, any of the medicine that I was before. And she thought I was okay to not having them anymore, and I'm happy with that because I have more energy. And so far, SCAD has no cure, so they don't know what causes it, so they don't know how to prevent it, and there's nothing they can do. So I just live with the thought that I lived a healthy life for 43 years, and I'm just hoping that I'll have another 43 years, or maybe even longer, without anything happened. But if it does happen, I already know what I have, and at least, you know, I can ask for the troponin test, and hopefully the research will find some answers that can help us SCAD survivors. So if you had SCAD, you can go online, you can find a Facebook group either in the UK, or there is another one which covers the rest of the world, and talk to people. And I hope this will help you as it helped me. I'm still scared that this will happen again, but I just have to live my life normally and hoping that it won't. Because there are just two choices, isn't it? You either live as it will happen or it will never happen. But just, you know, eat healthily, do your exercise. I don't have any blockage in my arteries. My arteries are healthy, no plaque, no high cholesterol, any of that. So I have no family history. I'm totally out of any risk factors, and it just strikes out of the blue. And we just need to be aware and spread the word about SCAD, so other people know that this happens, is very dangerous, and a quick response from the doctors can save your life. And if they don't believe you, you should just, you know, stand your ground and say that you want to have your troponins checked. So I hope it will help you. Thank you for watching.